All right, in the second IXL, you're going to continue with your rate of change, which remember is still slope. In this one, we're going to focus on rate of change of a graph or slope of a graph, which if you remember slope of a graph, you're simply going to count your rise over your run. Okay, so remember rise is your up and down, your run is your left and your right. Pay attention to your directions. If you run up, that's a positive, or down is a negative. If you rise up or rise down, positive and negative. If you run left is negative, and if you run right is positive. So just pay attention to your numbers, and then pay attention as you're simplifying your fractions. If you've got two negatives or one negative, one positive, pay attention to those signs. Use a calculator to help you reduce if you need to. So we're going to do a similar thing on this one where you have to pay attention to your years, and those are the dots you're going to focus on. So when we look at 2008, I've got a dot for 2008 is right here. And then 2010, which is this dot here. So you do not need to worry about this middle dot. Doesn't matter what happens here. I want to count my rise over my run based on just those two dots and pretend this middle one isn't even here. You do need to pay attention to your numbers on the side. Look, they're counting by fives. So when you rise, you don't want to count 1, 2, 3. You want to count 5, 10, 15. Okay, so just pay attention to your numbers on the side. So if we look from this point down at the bottom, we rise 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. So we are 30, and then we are over. That was up, so it was positive, and then over from there we go to the right 1, 2, which is also positive since we weren't right. So then we just have 30 divided by 2, which is 15. Okay, so now we've got our dog show enthusiast recorded the weight of the winning dog at recent dog shows. We're going to use our graph to figure out the rate of change between 2009 and 2011. So 2009, our dot is right here. In 2011, our dot is right here. Does not matter at all what happened with 2010. We ignore it. We just look from 2009 until 2011. Pay attention to your scale. Look here. We're counting by tens this time. On the bottom, we're still counting by ones, so that works. So when we go from our dot here at the bottom to our dot at the top, we rise 10. And that's it. And it was up, so positive. And then when we look at our run, we run 1, 2. And also to the right, which is another positive. So 10 divided by 2, which gives us 5. All right, worried about going over on her storage limit, Kate monitored the number of undeleted voicemail messages stored on her phone each day. According to the graph, what was the rate of change between Wednesday and Sunday? So we're going to focus starting here on Wednesday and going until, oh, sorry, I read that wrong, Saturday. Wednesday until Saturday. So starting at Wednesday and going until Saturday. Paying attention to your scale, your rising here each time is by 2, and your days are counting by ones. So if I look from my first dot to my second dot, how much do I rise? Well, in this case, I don't even rise any. I rise 0, which means your answer, you can just stop right there. You know your answer is going to be 0 because you didn't rise any. We're going to go through one more, then hopefully you have a good idea of how to do this IXL. Mr. Taylor recorded the amount he spent on gas each month to see if it would be cheaper to take the train to work. We've got our graph here. We're going to use the graph to find the rate of change between July and September. So we look at July and we look at September. Paying attention here at your scales, we're counting by fives, and our months are counting by ones. So when we rise, we need to count by our fives. So from dot 1 to dot 2, we rise 5, 10, and it was up, so positive. And looking at our run, we run 1, 2 to the right, which is positive. And then 10 divided by 2 gives you $5 per month. Okay, Do pay attention to your signs though. If you were going, maybe you were going from February to April, you notice that this is going down, so your answer should be negative. Okay, so just pay attention to those things as you're working. All of our graphs just happen to be in positive directions, but if they were, like I said, from February to April, or maybe February to March, or February to May, or something like that, where it's going down, your answer here should be negative. If it was going up, like from January to February or January to March, then your answer should be positive.